Let me start off by disclosing something. I'm a very, very slow learner. It's really true. I spent decades in a career that I was very successful at, but really a career that in many ways tortured me. A career that at times I was truly miserable in. It took me years to shatter the shackles that bound me, to take action, to take control of my life. When introduced to Juice Plus, it took me years to go all in and embrace all the health and wealth benefits that Juice Plus provides, as Nancy did. I tell you this because I want each of you to know that it took a lot of personal development, evolving to get to this place, to get to this stage of my journey where I can share with you. I know that each of you are evolving and are at different stages of openness, and that's okay. Believe me, I was the ultimate contrarian. You can just ask Nancy. Well, on second thought, please don't. Because, if you are totally or somewhat reluctant or skeptical, I get it. I understand. I was in that place. But, I applaud everyone for taking a step, forward in their journey, because that's really what it's all about, right? I was the antithesis of a network marketing professional. I was very much the prototypical hardcore corporate guy. I was as intense as you could be in the corporate world. I had taken the socially respected path, right? In conventional think to many, I had achieved the summit. I was a senior executive, a multi-six-figure-a-year earner. So, I had a big salary, a big office, a big house. But, to me, what it really ended up being was a big sham. The reality that I was shackled to my career, provided little security, that drove me to be ruled by fear, resulting in extreme stress, extreme hours. I was an absentee husband and father. Even when I was at home, I was often not present. I felt like I had no control. I became resigned to the fact that I was a prisoner and there was no getting out. I absolutely believed the only way for me to provide for my family was to remain in a career that frankly made me miserable. I wanted to blame anything, anyone but myself for this misery or discontent. It was all about others, right? But in reality, the shackles that bound me, were of my own creation. Shackles created by my own rules, my own way of thinking. That's a pretty hard reality, that I was a prisoner of my own making, that I couldn't get out of my own way. The rule that bound me the most was, in order to provide security for my family, I had to hold a conventional position with a conventional company to really do what I was told. This was deeply rooted in me. Get a degree, check. Get an entry-level job, check. Work my way up the ladder, check. Well, then you maybe retire, maybe someday. The problem with this rule is that it didn't specify quality of life, security, happiness. I now call it kind of fit or friction. If you don't find the fit in your life, you'll always have friction, always. And at any time, what you have can be taken away from you unless it's something that you've built and that you own. That's the difference between having income or asset building. And what I really love about Juice Plus is that it's asset building, that it can last a lifetime, and a job is a job. And most jobs can be taken away in an absolute second. Whether you make $1 million a year or $20,000 a year, that's true. It doesn't matter if you're in the big office or the little office. It can be taken away in a second. So, this shackle, this fear was so strong. The rule was so strong. It was so ingrained in me that it wouldn't allow me to accept what I had experienced and witnessed and really knew to be true, that Juice Plus works. It's really the real deal. It can provide life-altering health benefits. Most of you know that Nancy and I experienced 3 really painful miscarriages. we wanted children desperately and just weren't able to make it happen. And Nancy was then diagnosed with these uterine polyps that were said to be the problem. She was diagnosed with those, set up for surgery, and the surgery had to wait about 2 or 3 months after her diagnosis. And at that time, that's when we were at a Tony Robbins event, and Lauren introduced us to Juice Plus, and we began taking the product. And so the months passed, and we had been on the product, and it was time for Nancy's surgery. And Nancy and I went. They prepped her. I was waiting outside for her to come out from the surgery, and the doctor went in, examined her, ready to remove them, and the polyps were gone. And, he said that it's the first time he'd ever seen it. Polyps just don't go away on their own. And, obviously today, I'm very happy to say that we have 2 very healthy Juice Plus babies, and so healthy, I'm shocked that they haven't already interrupted us in the meeting, but which is unreal. It's kind of scary. I don't know what they're up to right now, but for me, when I got on Juice Plus, I had high blood pressure. I had heart pains. My job was stressing me out, and it's not surprising that, I had some of that. And after I got on the product for a while, my blood pressure went back to normal. And in fact, not to normal. It was like, I was kind of at an athlete level, and my heart pains just simply stopped. And so from a health perspective, it's undeniable. And in addition, for wealth, it provides, wealth building, wealth creating, life altering wealth creation potential. It doesn't matter if you're wanting to make a few extra dollars a month or much, much more, it's proven to be a vehicle for that. So, even with all this evidence in my life, that it could be a career alternative that I'd been looking for, I resisted. I was just bound by my rules. I did agree at the time to go to the Juice Plus conference with Nancy. And I can tell you, I was looking forward to it like I was, looking forward to having the skin rubbed off my back. I thought, oh my God, here we go. I'm going to have to go and be in an environment that I don't want to be in. But that decision really changed everything, kind of getting over that fear, that boundary. I went to the Juice Plus conference, and all of a sudden I'm around thousands and thousands of these people, these network marketing professionals. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, everybody's walking around happy. People are healthy. Normally you get thousands of people together and you're hearing coughs and sneezes, and, you didn't hear a lot of that stuff. And at first I thought they must be passing out bags of like herbal happiness. I thought they were smoking it up in some room that I didn't get invited to. I was like, this isn't real. Like, people aren't this damn happy. But, I eventually came to the recognition that the happiness was genuine. Think about it. When you own your life, you own your time, your money is your money. They had bet on themselves and won. They took the risk I wasn't willing to take. And so, I started slowly, like I did with Tony Robbins and other things that I have to admit Nancy's led on, which it is hard for me to admit that as the big career professional guy. But, my trigger was seeing Nancy on stage with our 2 beautiful kids when she received, that well-earned recognition for growing the Juice Plus business. They were glowing. The kids were glowing. She was glowing. And in that moment, I really became overcome with the thought, really, it scared the shit out of me. All of a sudden, I thought, what if my kids follow my rule and not Nancy's? What if they become stressed out, unhappy, and live in a job for their whole life that they're not happy with? And at that moment, I really just shattered the shackles that had bound me for my whole life, forever. I knew that I couldn't allow that to happen to Ty and Scott. And, as Zig Ziglar says, at that moment, you know, my head and heart aligned. You know, my truth, the right answer was only 18 inches away all the time. You know, the distance from my head to my heart. You know, my heart overcame the rule that was embedded in my mind for so long that I was finally ready to bet on me, to put my life in my hands. So I knew that I'd never return to my job. I made a decision right then and there that I was going to leave, you know, a career. And believe me, most people thought I was pretty damn crazy. And, you know, that I was going to take control of my life and become a network marketing professional with Nancy. You know, and the absolute affirmation of that came, actually the Juice Plus conference had ended. And Nancy and I and the kids went to a restaurant by the convention center. Nancy took Sky for a potty break. And, you know, at that time I looked down at Ty and I said, you know, Ty, Daddy's going to leave his job. You know, he's going to join, you know, I'm going to join Mommy in Juice Plus. And, you know, that's going to mean I'm going to be able to spend more time with you. And, you know, I was hoping for this great big reaction, but, you know, he did smile and he gave me a hug and he went on to do what he was doing. But when Nancy and Sky, you know, kind of appeared walking back from the bathroom, he stood up in the booth and he just said, Mommy, 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 and just yelled, you know, and everybody could hear him. And he said, Daddy is going to be a Juice Pluser, a Juice Pluser. You know, he's going to spend more time with me. And he said it 3 times, you know, he's going to spend more time with me, more time with me. And it really made me realize the neglect that my kids felt. And, you know, that my career wasn't benefiting my family. It was actually hurting my family. And so at that moment, you know, I rejoiced, but I just felt heartbroken at that time. So, you know, I just ask each of you, you know, what are your shackles? What's your trigger? What do you really want to do with your life? What's really important to you? You know, Juice Plus is a vehicle. Whether you want to make this about your career, extra money, whether you want to get people, you know, healthy or happy. So, you know, I just challenge each of you to find out, you know, and Cameron, and, you know, in Wealth Mastery, they, you know, it was, you know, what's holding you back? What's your constraint? What's stopping you? It doesn't matter if you're trying to grow another career as well as Juice Plus, or you're trying to benefit your family. You have to find out, you know, what's your shackle, what are you tied to, and break it. Because each of us, the only difference in all of our success is us. We own our life. We own our career. We all have the same chance. So I really challenge each of us and myself to continue to develop and to continue to grow. But that's my story, isn't it, Ty? Is that my story? You're not going to talk? Hi, Lobo. Thank you for waiting for Papa to done. So, Nancy, that's my story.
Baby, you are amazing. You truly are amazing.
Awesome story, Jerry. Awesome story.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. I've heard it before, and every single time, like, I go back there and I hear Ty, and when he said, Mommy, like what Jerry's saying, Daddy's gonna spend more time with me. Mommy. It was so. Mommy. Hi. Hi.
You have to be quiet. Mama. No cookies.
You have to be quiet, guys. It was just like so incredible to hear the kids like be so happy because they were missing their dad, and I knew that they were missing their dad, but like it wasn't, you know, like it was until Jerry understood that there was another way. There was nothing that I could say that, you know, I was missing my husband, they were missing their dad, and now we have him. So it's awesome. It's awesome. Okay. Thank you for sharing, babes.
Yeah. Do you want me to talk about wealth mastery now, Nance?
Yes, please. Yes, please share about business mastery.
Business mastery. Sorry. And Cameron, please say anything. I'm just going to go through a few of my bullets. I just tried to pick out a few that'd be relevant for the team. And one is, and I won't go in detail. There's too many. Would take too much time. But I'll just read these, and you think about them. And maybe next week on the call we can do a deeper dive into some of them. I am 100% responsible for the performance of my business. 100% responsible for the performance of my business. Another, on average, it takes 16 exposures to get a sale these days. And so just remember, it's not just you. Whether you're a professional marketing group, a $1 billion company, it takes 16 exposures to get a sale these days. The world's changing. Treat your business, I really like this one. Treat your business like a spiritual game. A spiritual game. How do I do more for others? How do I do more for others? And if you do that, you're going to grow your business. What business are we in? They said, ask 3 questions of yourself. What business are you in? What business are you really in? And what business do you need to be in? Another bullet. If you want to influence someone, you need to know what already influences them. Believe first. Do not wait to see it. Believe. And then it says, find a way, believe that you will get there. You must pursue great ideas. Use your mind and stress instead of the mind and stress using you. Ask yourself, we are all in a process. Where am I? What will I do to make certain that the process is what I want? We'll go into some of these deeper maybe next week. But make sure that your business is about your client and not about yourself. So understand what your clients desire, not about necessarily what you desire, what you project on them. It's really about your clients and their needs. This is one that for me, I had to sit when I heard it, I wrote it, and I just had to sit and think about it, because for me, this has always been a challenge because I'm a control guy. I want to be in control. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to how much uncertainty you allow. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to how much uncertainty you allow. The more personal, the more powerful. The more personal, the more powerful. Social proof, the most powerful marketing principle. Social proof, client testimonials, real life examples, finding ambassadors, and create great strategy. But social proof is big as an affirmation and to reinforce what you're communicating. Set standards, not goals. Set standards, not goals. It's easy to write on a wall, on a board, what your goals are. Can everyone hear me? Okay. I like this one. A plane on the ground makes no money. You're the plane. You're the vehicle. You have to take action. You have to take action. A plane on the ground makes no money. And I'll challenge people, like the people on the call. The people that take the action, that do the vision board, that have a mantra, that employ these things. If you look at the success and what's happening, it's directly relational to the proportion to the actions that you take, right? You get what you put into it. So make sure that you're not the plane that has the fuel, ready to take off, but you never take off. Find that shackle, that barrier, right? And another one, nothing can change until the unsaid is spoken. I really love that. Nothing can change until the unsaid is spoken. You have to go where you don't want to go, right? You have to open yourself up, or it can't change. Whenever you get stuck, you think it's because you cannot find the right answer. It is really because you cannot find the right question. You're not going where you need to go. You're stuck right here. You ask this question, you're not going to the right place. You have to allow yourself to ask the right question. And this is one that really hit me like a ton of bricks. Hell on earth is meeting the man or woman that you could have been. Hell on earth is meeting the man or woman that you could have been. Meeting a person that's no more talented than you, no smarter than you, that had no greater advantage than you, but they just simply did it. That's pretty damn powerful. That's really powerful. I never want to meet that person. Your customers do not care about your passion. They care about your solution. What's the saying? A motivated idiot is still an idiot. And I don't mean to use that term, but something like that. Meaning, you can be all motivated and fired up, but again, if you don't know your people and know what motivates them and know what their needs are, and if you don't take that time, if you don't show people that you're not help them, then it's successful. And the last one I'll speak of is Albert Einstein. This was a quote that they gave from Albert Einstein. If you cannot explain it simply, you simply don't know it well enough. If you cannot explain it simply, you simply don't know it well enough. And it's true. Like, our message should be very clear, succinct, and just very simple. But I found that a powerful quote as well. I would love an opportunity to sit down with Albert Einstein, I can tell you. But, those are a few things. Cameron, can you think of anything else?
Let's see here. Not right now.
That's okay. Look, there was so much. Believe me, if you would have called on me and I didn't have this in front of me, I'd have problems too. It's too much.
Yeah.
Too much. But just make sure that you challenge yourself to find, if you don't take anything else, be honest with yourself. Say the unsaid and find out what really your problem is, right? For me, when I was in this other career, all I wanted to talk about is how other people were impacting me. This people they don't have any ethics, or they don't want to deal with the real problems and everything. I was asking the wrong question. I was asking, where are the good people at in this industry? I want to work with them. And really the right question that I should have been asking myself for many years earlier was, is this the right career for me? But I didn't ask that question. I tried to fix the situation that was wrong for me instead of asking myself, is this where my success and happiness lies? So ask yourself the right question. Nancy, that's it, baby.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much, my love.
Good job, Jerry.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job. Good job. I have nothing else to say. I mean, there's nothing to say to that. Okay, so he's given us a lot to talk about, a lot to think about, a lot to brew over.
Definitely.
Yeah, I will post this call in Gen Z Global just because
Awesome.
it provides massive value.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for today.
That's good. That's enough.
Today. Who wants to close the call? Before we do that, hold on. Does anybody have anything to say? I don't have anything to say, but
well, that's what I was going to say, Nancy. I think everyone should say something about their takeaway from this, because
yes,
my biggest aha from that I'm going to take away, although there was so much to take away, but my biggest one that struck me that Jerry said was, hell on earth is meeting the woman that I could have been. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was mine too. Yeah.
Awesome. Paul.
Yes.
Yeah, give me feedback, man. What was your takeaway?
You know, just I think the observance of your inner self and what you need to do to make you better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and ask that question. Don't be chicken shit. Get it done.
Right. Yeah. Get out of your own way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Lori, you're muted.
I think my biggest takeaway is more of a bigger picture and kind of a compliment to Jerry that this was the second time I heard that story, his story, and it is so much more like heartfelt now. Like Jerry opened up, speaking from the heart, and I think that's going to be so impactful on people as you start sharing that. It goes back to Luke Warren's call that I was on, new distributor call a month ago back, where he said, you know, just refine your story, like get it, record it, keep telling it over and over again until it really speaks and moves people come from your heart. And like, Jerry, you are there, man. You are so there.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Shannon.
I would say it's the same as Sheila's. I'm having medication-induced fog. So I couldn't say it is, I mean, you could probably tell I'm still a little bit zoned.
That's okay.
The same as Sheila. It was like really powerful seeing that, seeing the person that you could have been.
Yeah.
That's really
awesome.
good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Take a deep breath, babes. Sylvie, what's your biggest takeaway?
Boost, mon cerveau.
She says a boost for her brain. It was just a jolt for her brain. That's awesome. Cameron, your takeaway.
Yeah, Juice Plus is about building assets.
Okay.
And, you know, I can, like I guess like the, building the entrepreneur brain, building the part of my, like exposing myself to like really like taking action for myself and making, you know, investing in myself and what kind of opportunities that can create for like owning your life. You guys talked about time and money, and you know, it's just, so I'm excited about learning more about network marketing because it's just like a social group. This is an amazing group of people who we can all relate to. Totally can relate to Jerry's story. that he talked about. That was super impactful. You might have seen me holding my 1-year-old daughter a little bit there, but yeah, definitely more time with the kids, and just owning my own time as opposed to having to go somewhere and making excuses and stuff. So yeah, I think that entrepreneurial like mindset, and building that confidence in myself.
Very cool. Very cool. Baby, you look like you got something to say. No?
Well, no. Look, just be, to me, it's just be honest. Just let yourself go where you never would let yourself go, right? That's really the key. When you get honest, good things happen. And it is about, what's amazing to me about, I can't say enough about Tony Robbins, and I can't say enough about network marketing, because there's so many corollaries. There are two groups that are trying to help you get where you want to go.
Yeah.
And, what you learn in Robbins, you practice in network marketing. And, if you listen to Go Pro, there are tenets of Tony Robbins in Go Pro. It's like, at some point, and I tell you, I'm envious of people like Cameron and others that are so damn young, that are open to this, because I look back and I don't have any regrets now, and I used to, and that was part of my problem. Was I was like, oh, I should have done this back then or whatever. Everybody goes on their own journey, so it doesn't matter. But I will tell you, I'm envious as hell, and I go, when I was at Robbins at Business Mastery, and I'm looking around and seeing all of these young people, and I just I told Nancy, like, wow, what are they going to create for their lives if they're so open right now and they're taking action? They're taking action today.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you, I won't leave this earth without our children owning their life, really owning their life. I just won't do it. And the only way they can do it is if I embody and I live it, because they're going to live my life in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to allow it to happen. They're going to own them. So I just applaud everyone for being where you're at in your journey, being on the call and moving forward. But just be honest.